Hello, my name is Lisa, and I'm the writer-director of CSI Gresham. This film was made back in 2005 during my junior year in high school. It was for a final project in my Exploring Cinema class. We had to create a script and storyboard of an original piece and make it into an actual film was extra credit. I wanted to see if I could do it, and it was so much fun that I was bitten by the film bug and decided to make films of my own from then on. It took some years to become financially independent enough to try, but I finally managed to make my dream, Spaz Cat Films, a reality. So this short film has a special place in my heart. It was created as a parody to one of my favorite TV shows at the time, CSI, the original series set in Las Vegas. It starts out traditionally showing the victim doing ordinary things just like in the show and then cutting to someone putting up crime scene tape. I decided to cast myself in a cameo role setting up said crime scene tape and then being the note taker for the main CSI character Gray. I wanted to make as many lame and punny little jokes and cliches as I could before the theme song, and I included a little pun from CSI Miami with the inclusion of the sunglass gag too. I had a lot of help from family and friends with the jokes.
No, it's just ketchup. Looks like she has something in her mouth. Looks like we've got a dirty rat on our hands. I guess we should play the theme song.
The credits were an interesting feat in itself. Since this was before I knew how to properly edit in a program, my crew and I had to get creative and make it look interesting. My dad had the idea of printing the credits out on paper and inverting the colors on the camera so the words appeared white on a gray background. We played the music at the same time as the recording through speakers, and I'm actually standing off camera flipping the pages. We used the same technique for the end credits as well. We used the original song from the CSI series opening credits, and we used the song from CSI Miami in the end credits. It took us a few times to get the timing right, but I think it looks great. I know the acting isn't that great, but I was grateful to all my friends who helped me on such short notice. We filmed this entire thing in one day. Some of the jokes fell pretty flat, too. I thought the note-taker giving the lead CSI rabbit ears while he talked would be hilarious, but it's kind of painful to watch now.
She should be getting out of school soon.
Why wasn't your sister's?
Amy said that her stomach felt funny, so naturally my parents had to let her stay home.
I'm going to need a sample of your DNA. Go out front and wait for Candy, and when she gets here, bring her back and get a sample of her DNA as well.
The clip following right after with us all running up to the body, you can see another of my friends and characters standing in the background, which no one noticed until it was much too late in the editing room. Now, I really like the fingerprinting scene because it was my idea to have the character Brittany be super grossed out and whining the whole time. It still makes me chuckle a little bit to this day. The big clue word in the diary was a joke my dad came up with, and is also one of my favorite jokes too. The following look at the shelf of Beanie Babies is supposed to show a space where the murderous rat was sitting, but it didn't come across very clearly in the shot, which is disappointing and just confusing for the audience, but it can't really be helped now. The interrogation scene really shows how green I was, because I didn't know that for conversations between characters, you film each person having their side of the conversation and then cut the pieces together. So we actually ended up filming each line one at a time. It resulted in some good outtakes, but it's pretty hard to watch now too, knowing I could do so much better now. And it was a nightmare editing. The cuts are really jolty sometimes.
It's cool, you know, teachers and all.
Yeah, I know.
Can I go now, or do you want to grill me for more information that I don't have?
Sure, just don't leave town or anything.
The lab scene was done in one long shot due to us having to play the music live at the time of the recording through speakers in the room. We were going for a look like the gothic lab tech from Abby from NCIS, which was another favorite show at the time too. The Jeopardy music was my dad's idea, just for comedy's sake. We managed to get this scene in just 2 takes since one became an outtake, because the actor in the foreground started laughing. On the laptop in the background was the CBS CSI homepage as a bit of an Easter egg, but it's kind of hard to see on film. But I just like knowing that it's there, and I thought further enough in advance to even put that there.
Done. Yeah. Thanks.
The reveal of the crime is the most important to the story, but is kind of the least interesting in the filming of this piece since nothing outrageously really happened and there was no interesting editing things that happened there. The only interesting thing was the dramatic takeoff of the sunglasses that was also modeled after CSI Miami.
Alright, I admit it. I did it. I killed her. And I'd do it again, too. Why? Why? I believe the question is why not? That little brat got everything, and I got nothing. I had to kill it. Survival of the fittest, you know.
I'm afraid you're going to jail for a long time, Renee. Brittany, read her her rights.
For what now?
During the perp walk, at the end of the scene, we didn't have any handcuffs, so they're actually just holding her hands behind her back. We also felt it necessary to apologize to the producer and creator of CSI in the end credits, because it was one of my favorite shows at the time, and I felt I might have butchered it, but it was all in good fun, and if they do see it someday, I hope they forgive me. Now, I love bloopers and gag reels from movies and TV shows, and I will always have them in any and all live-action fiction films that I make. As for all the hard work that went into editing this film without the aid of an editing program, it was quite difficult and interesting all at the same time. We had to plug our camera into a VCR and cue it up to where we wanted it, then play it back and record it onto the VHS tape. It wasn't too hard since we filmed everything in the order it was written in the script, which at the time I didn't know that all films were shot out of order in order to do exterior shots first when you still had the light and good weather, or certain locations first if you only had them for like a day or something. But it was my first film, so while it's not perfect in any way, I'm proud of it for what it is. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you later.